Hello and welcome back to my channel, Free Trade Analysis. If you are new to my channel, I am Vaji Kazmi and I do free analysis of several forex pairs, indices, and cryptocurrencies for you guys. And Our accuracy is approximately 80 to 90%, and we give you the best intraday possible trades for your trading purpose. So if you guys have not yet liked my channel, then please subscribe to it, and also don't forget to click on the bell icon to get regular notifications, as we try to upload videos on regular basis, and our scenarios remain valid until and unless our next video comes out, and it helps you guys further for your intraday trades. Okay, so now first of all, let us start off with the DXY analysis from where we left off the day before yesterday. So when we were analyzing the dollar index on, I think, 24th of August, we were on this candle, and we were analyzing that what kind of move dollar could give us. So by our experience, we gave you very good moves, and you guys could have made huge profits out of all the scenarios. Well, we gave you almost like 7 to 8 scenario possible scenarios, and some of them got hit and some of them didn't. But we create all the best possible scenarios for you guys, so you guys remain in market for as long as possible and keep a lookout, so you guys do not miss any profits, any possible profits rather. Okay, so the first of all, this was a good buying scenario, but rather aggressive or a risky buy, but this did not happen. Then it was a retest buying, and this scenario did not happen as well. So we would remove these two scenarios, and these were two scenarios of risky sell just in case the market reaches these areas, but that didn't happen as well. So what happened was that the market entered this. So the another scenario that we gave you was that if the market comes down to this level and retests this area again. So what happened? You can clearly see that this selling scenario of us has been met clearly, as you can clearly see that the market broke past this area, then once again came all the way up, and then it closed down. So this retesting was done clearly over here, and it closed below, and it went down further, so you guys could have made a safe trading profit over here as well. And the second selling scenario that came into play was when we gave you the a trade when if this trend line was broken. You guys can clearly see that this trend line was broken over here, and it was once again retested over here, and it was a huge profit for us till here. Okay, and then it was tested again, and it was again a huge profit for us till here. And third scenario was that if this trend line was respected, but this scenario was never came into play. Another scenario that we gave to you guys was that if market respects this zone, then maybe we can go long from here, but that did not come into play. The much better and area for a buying scenario was given from this buying zone as well. Okay, if I clearly said that if the market enters this zone, then we could just simply look for a buying opportunity and we could go long easily. So if you guys could have gone long from here, then this was a huge profit till here. And if rather if you guys could have stayed in this market for a bit longer, then this would have been an even greater profit. So only for you guys to have the amount of profit that you guys could have made, I'm going to check out all these scenarios so you guys have an idea that how much profit you guys could have made from the given scenarios that we discussed in the previous video. Okay, so this would have been our stop loss, and this was the first video where this was the first scenario where the selling setup worked perfectly, and you guys can clearly see that the risk to reward of 2.25%. If you guys had risked only 1%, then you guys could have easily made a 2.25% profit from this trade. The second selling scenario that came into play was this trend line had to be tested, and if the market, if the since when it was broken and it was retested, so it was retested over here, so we could have easily entered over here. Okay, so for this purpose, we would have entered over here, and the amount of profit that we guys would have made from this trade would be around here. Okay, so the profit taking scenario would be approximately, okay, I have to close it down a little. Yes, okay, so this market came all the way to here. Yes, so the profit is approximately 1.4%. Okay, this came into play when the selling when the trend line was tested and the market gave us a good selling opportunity. Okay, so this is a risk to reward ratio of 1.45%, and previous was 2 point something percent. So already we have made more than 3% profit from the two of the selling scenarios. The buying scenarios, now let's remove the selling setups, and now let's check out the buying setups that we gave to you guys, if those would have worked for you guys. Okay, so now let me remove the selling setups. Okay, so since the trend line setup did not work out, so I'm removing that as well. Okay, so this buying setup was not executed as well. So rather it was just executed partially, and not a big profit. So even if you had entered from on this scenario, just in case, if you guys would have entered from this support area or a pending order, then maybe you could have gone out at a break-even level, or maybe even if let's say that you guys would have hit your stop loss, so that would be minus 1% for us. Okay, now let's see what the another area of buying that was given to you guys was if the market goes up straight away from this area. So you guys can clearly see that when the market closed above this area, maybe you could go long till here, but this would also be a break-even trade and not more than that. But the best area that we gave to you was this zone, and we clearly gave you that if the market closes in this area and respects this area and does not close below, then on the first buying opportunity we could go long easily. So in for that case, you guys can easily check out that if you guys would have entered over here, and your stop loss would be approximately just below this candle, the amount of profit would be approximately here. It is 2.6% profit, or if you guys would have waited for a little longer, then maybe you guys could have made a 3% profit. So overall 5% profit with maybe one stop or two stop, you guys are still in a good profit of 3% in this pair. Okay, so now let's discuss that what market could do next in this dollar pair with us. So market has so far respected our given levels in a very beautiful manner. So now the what the market is doing is that market is currently about to test our previous trend line, and if market tests this trend line and closes below this area, then maybe we could go short from here. So let me mark some areas for you guys. Our levels more or less remain the same, but this is a new level, a new buying level, but you can clearly see that this level has been taken out, and a huge retracement has already been done. So I'm expecting the dollar to uh, fall tomorrow, yes. So let me remove this area. Okay, I would stretch this area a little, and I would make another buying area so you guys have a better idea as what could happen tomorrow. Okay, this would be our buying zone, the best buying zone for us, and the selling spot would be this would have been a good selling spot, but since you can clearly see that this spot has been this level has been broken, so this area has now become a good support area. So I am going to change its color to green as it has now become a good support zone. But after this level recently, the best level to sell is this area. Okay. So what we are gonna wait for the market to at least test this level, and if market tests this level and closes below this level, then maybe we could expect some selling pressure. Okay, so and currently this level is being tested, which is also a good level. So I'm also going to mark this area as a current short-term resistance. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a few trades that if this level is respected twice, then maybe we can go short right from here. So okay, so this would be our first selling scenario. Market test this area, then market closes below this area, and then market retests this zone. Okay, so the retest this zone, and then and if the market goes short, then we can easily go short from here. Okay, the second selling scenario would be if the market closes, market tests this trend line and closes below this area, then maybe we could go short from here. Okay, the third setup would be if the market reaches this area at any given point of time, and maybe we could go short if the market gives us a good selling opportunity. Okay, so and for good buying setups, what we are going to do is no, first we should also check out the 4 hour chart that what it is going to do with us. Yes, in the 4 hour chart we have to take this area out if we have to keep some buying momentum. So let's go back to the 1 hour chart for our intraday trades. So if in order to buy, this level has to be tested again, and if from this level market gives us a good buying area, would rather be not this area, this would be our area of interest for to buy. So we have to wait for a little while. If this area is tested, then maybe we could go long from here. And the uh, second scenario would be if this area is respected, and if this area is broken, then maybe we could go long straight away if we are a risky buyer. And the safety trade would be if the market closes above this area and then the market retests this zone, then maybe we could just go long from here, something like this would be my preferred scenario for buying above this level. Otherwise I would not really enter. Okay, So now let's see that what the market does with us tomorrow. Another short-term interesting buying area would be this area. Okay, if this area is respected and we see a double bottom pattern over here, then maybe we could go along from here as well. Okay, something like this. So we have given to you all possible scenarios that could happen. So we have to be vigilant that what could happen tomorrow. So now let's hope for the best. And now let's move on to the next pair, which is Euro USD. And now let's move on to the Euro USD analysis. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss from where we left off yesterday, the day before rather, on the 24th August we discussed and we gave you a buying scenario. If the market closes above this zone, we could go long straight away. It's okay, so this scenario came into play beautifully. We gave you a selling setup. If this area is tested and market closes below this area, then maybe we could go short, but this area was not executed. And then the another selling setup was that if this area is respected and market closes below this area, but you can clearly see that this scenario also did not really come into play, as there was no retest happening. The buying setup that we gave you, that if this area is tested, this came into play at a very later stage over here, and it gave good profit from here. And another time when this scenario came into play was this as well, and this gave us huge profit. The selling setup was that if market closes below this area over like this, and then market closed down, but did not, but that scenario did not come into play, as we gave you a retesting, but that retest never happened. So this scenario did not come into play. So, and this area was not tested at any point of time. Another area that we gave to you was that if market enters this area, then we had to go short, and this was the first selling opportunity, but you would have hit your stop loss, and this was the second selling opportunity. If you guys would have taken this trade again, then you guys could have made a good profit till here, or rather here. Okay, so several setups came into play, with I think one setup hitting a stop loss and not more than that. Okay, so now let's discuss the amount of profits that you guys could have made if you were a risky buyer. The amount of profit that you guys could have made on the very first risky buy would be something like this: 2.4% from the risky buy, from the first risky buy that we gave to you. Risky selling, let's just assume that we hit our stop loss, so that would be -1%. And from here, let's just assume that we hit another stop loss, that would be -2%. So we had already made 2.4% profit, so we are still in profit of 0.4%. So okay, so now let me remove this scenario as well. Now okay, so now the third scenario, this scenario came into play over here. Okay, so the first amount of profit that you guys could have made would be from here till here, I would say. Uh, Let me just close down the area. Okay, now the 1.7% profit in this trade. The second time this area was tested was here. The second scenario would be something like this. If you guys would have entered till here, the profit taking would be till here. Okay, somewhere like here, and this SL would be here. Okay, so this is 1 by 4.6%. Okay, so 1.7 6 7% previously and 4.6% over here, so that makes us 4 5, almost 7% profit. Okay, so 1.7. Okay, so if we add up 4.6 and 1.7, that would make approximately 5.3 to 4% profit from these two scenarios. Okay, now the third scenario, which was this did not come into play, but this selling scenario that we gave, this came into play beautifully over here. So let me give you the amount of profit that we guys could have made from this selling setup from here till, I think, yes, over here, somewhere over here. Okay, so this is the 1/2 risk to reward ratio. So that would be good profit percentage. So I think this was a good profitable pair for us. Okay, so now let's move on to the next today's analysis, so we can have a better idea as in what could happen tomorrow. Now, first of all, let me remove all the previous days drawings so we can have a clear picture with us. And the strategies or the scenarios that I am giving to you guys are important, and learning is also very important, that how I am giving you these trades. It is, I put these levels and I put these arrows in front of you guys. It is so that you guys can learn that how I am making these levels, that how I am putting these trend lines, and how I am marking these areas. Okay, this is for your own benefits, so you guys can learn and learn how to trade, so you guys can have a better understanding of all the scenarios. Okay, as you can see that when I put this trend line, I was not really expecting this to be respected, but you guys can clearly see that it was respected at several points. You guys, first of all, it was broken, and then the market went up all the way till here. Okay, so if you were a risky buyer and this trend line was broken, then you guys could have made a profit till here as well. But when this trend line was broken again and went down, then if you were a good seller, then you guys could have made a profit till here as well. Okay, now what you can see is that this trend line is tested again, and again, once again, the market goes all the way down, and then when once the trend line is broken again and market has gone up beautifully. Now you guys can clearly see that this trend line is once again being tested, and market is now pushing up higher. Okay, so we can clearly see that the this trend line is being respected at so many levels, so we would continue to have some levels for us till here. Okay, and this level of support is being respected beautifully for us. Okay, now we will mark new buying and selling areas. As you guys can clearly see that this area has been broken in the 1 hour. Now let's see that what the 4 hour chart has for us. Okay, now you guys can clearly see that the liquidations have happened quite a bit. This liquidation level has been taken out beautifully over here, and the market has gone down, and a trend line has been tested again. So I am expecting the market to go up a little tomorrow. Okay, so now let's see that what the market has for us to offer. I am expecting the market to react from this area and pump a little. Okay, now let's go back to the 1 hour time frame so we can have our trade levels executed. Okay, now this level of interest, this is a lesser level of interest now. Now our main level of interest would be much higher, which is over here. Okay, now let me just reduce the size so you guys can have a clear picture. Now this is our level of interest. Okay, So I am stretching it a little bit down for you guys so you guys can know that what I'm trying to say. My whole point is this, that you guys can have a better understanding. Okay, now the this support level has not been tested, so I am going to move this to here. Okay, so this would be our area of interest. Okay, as you guys can clearly see that we already have two support levels marked over here, and our trend line is also exactly over here, and it is being tested, and it has been respected. So we are going to look for a good buying opportunity from here, but we will keep our eyes open for all possible options. Okay. So as you can clearly see that this that this area has not yet come into play, but I'm expecting the market to go up. Okay, so now let me just put the arrows for you guys so you guys can have all the trades easily in your hands. Okay. So what market could do with us tomorrow is that if first of all market respects this zone or this trend line and market closes above this trend line, then maybe we could go long from here. Okay, and on the other hand, if market closes above this level, then we could go long maybe straight away if we are a little bit a risky buyer. If we are a good a buyer on a retest, then maybe we could wait for market to close above this level and then this level to be tested again, and we will be waiting for a double bottom pattern, and then maybe we could go long from here, something like this. Okay, now for selling setups, the scenarios would be if the market respects this area, yes, if the market respects this area and closes below this area. Okay, so if the market respects this area and closes below this area, then maybe we could go short for a short-term pattern. And the second area of selling would be that if market enters sorry, that if market enters this area and gives us a good selling opportunity somewhere over here and gives us a good selling opportunity, then maybe we could go short from here. Okay, we have to be vigilant for this scenario to come into play. And the best area for selling would be this zone. We have to be vigilant if this zone comes into play, and we just have to keep our eyes open for this area as well. Okay, this might come into play tomorrow as well. So just be vigilant. If any of this scenario comes into play, then maybe we could go short from here. And if we are a risky buyer and the market closes above this zone, then maybe we could go long straight away from here as well. But that again depends that if we like to do risky trading or not. Okay, the selling another selling scenario would come into play if the market breaks past this area. Okay, if the market breaks past this area and we are a risky seller, then maybe we could go short straight away. But if we are not a risky seller, then we will just wait for this area to be broken, and then we will wait for the market to respect this trend line, and then maybe we could go short from this area, as this area would become our area of resistance if if the market tries to go down from here. Okay, now let's see that which scenario comes into play first. So we would be very careful. for all the scenarios. And another good buying area would be from here. If the market comes at this level and market gives us a buying opportunity, we will buy from here as well. And my personal favorite area uh, would be from here. If the market tests this zone, then I would go long, at least till the trend line. Okay, if I open the 4 hour chart, then I could also mark this area. Okay, now just let me mark this the most recent support zone so we can have a better idea as well. Okay, I'm changing its color to green so we can have a better idea, and I am making its mark somewhere like this. Okay, so we do not get confused in any manner. Okay, so this would be our scenarios in Euro USD tomorrow. So let's be vigilant and let's watch that what Euro USD does with us. Okay, so now let's move on to the next pair, which is GBP USD, and let's check out what the GBP USD has to offer us tomorrow. But first of all, let us discuss the scenarios that we gave to you guys in the previous day analysis, that what market did with us on the previous day. Okay, first of all, we gave you this scenario, which was if the market respects this area, and we could go short market. As you can clearly see, market respected this area and we could go short from here on this candle, but we would have hit a stop loss in the next 2 hours. Okay, another scenario was that if market would go and respect this area, but this scenario did not come into play, so I am going to remove this area. These and Another scenario is that if market respects this support. This partially came into play. Maybe we could have gone long from here because more or less 5 to 10 pips difference does not really count, and our market and our plan was executed from here. Okay, so we would just keep that in our mind. So, and the risky buying opportunity from here did not come into play. The risky buying opportunity that we want from here, and this also did not come into play. So I'm going to remove these both of these scenarios. Okay, another selling scenario that we gave to you were the risky selling scenario if market closes below this zone. So market closed below this zone, then maybe we could have gone short, but once again we would have hit a stop loss, which would have been our second stop loss. And if then we also gave you a trade that if market enters this zone, then maybe we could then preferably we had to go short from here as well, and this trade was executed perfectly. Now let's see that since we have hit two stops in the given trade, now let's see that how much profit we would have made if the trades were executed as per the given plan. So that market entered this area and then market closed below this zone, so we would have entered a short trade from here. Now let's see that how much profit we would have made if we would have taken this risky selling setup. Okay, initial profit would be 2.8%, but if we would have continued our trade, then our profit could have stretched till 2.96% or a little bit more as well, which is still here, which is 1 by 3. Okay, so since we have hit two of our stop losses, we have covered both of those stop losses in our very first scenario, which is 3% profit. Okay, now let me remove this and now let's see that what this buying setup, when it was executed from here, that how much profit did it give to us. Okay, 3% in our previous trade, and From this trade, the amount of profit that we would have made would be approximately 5.8. So 5.8 plus 3% makes it 8%. And we have hit two of our stop losses, so that is minus 2%. Okay, so overall we are in 6% profits in this GBP USD analysis from our previous day, and which is huge profit for us. Okay, now let's continue with today's analysis, and let's see that what GBP USD has to offer us tomorrow. And let's try to analyze the best possible trades that could happen with us. Okay, now as you can clearly see that this area of interest has been broken, and now this is our area of interest. So I am going to shift this resistance area above over here. So this would be our area of interest now. Okay, so we would wait if the market tests this area in anywhere recent time. This area of interest has been taken out already, and since this area of interest has been broken as well, so now we are waiting for this area of interest to come into play at any given point of time. Now first let us also check what the 4-hour time frame has in store for us. Yes, exactly. So now, what I would love to see is that if the market, since you can clearly see that market is in a selling trend, it has taken out its recent liquidation low, which was at this point and at this point, and now I am expecting the market to at least reach this area and then market to go up, and maybe market could take out this recent liquidation low, and then market could go up at least 50% with its retracement, and then it would go down further. Okay, but for tomorrow I'm expecting the market to go up a little. Okay, now let's go back to the 1 hour setup so we can have our buying areas or the selling areas marked. As you can clearly see that this area has now turned into a resistance zone, and this support has also turned into a resistance zone. Okay, now let me also mark my last last recent support zone, which is this. Okay, so we have to wait if this area is respected or if this area is broken. So the trades that we would be having would be if the market respects this area, market enters this area and respects this zone. Okay, so now let me just move these a little closer. Okay, so market enters this area and then market closes above this area, then maybe we could go long from here. On the other hand, if the market closes above this zone, then maybe we could go long straight away, something like somewhere like this. So, and another buying setup would be if market uh, uh, goes above this area and then market respects this zone or area, and then market closes above this zone again, then maybe we could go along from here as well. Okay, so this is our area of interest as well. As you can clearly see that previously the market went up from here. Okay, let me just mark this area as well so you guys can have a better idea as what point I am giving to you guys at this is the most recent area from where the buyers were sitting. So this is a critical area for us as well. Okay, so we have to wait and watch if this area is broken tomorrow or not. Okay, let me make it easy so you guys can have a better idea as what point I am trying to make over here. Okay, market enters this zone, market tests the bottom, and then market closes above, so we can then maybe we can go along from here. Okay, now let's see what are the possible selling setups that we could see. First selling setup would be if the market goes above this area. Okay, market goes above this area, and then the market closes below, then maybe we could go short, something like this. And the second selling setup would be if the market enters this zone and then we have some selling, we see some selling opportunity available, then we could go short from here as well. Okay, this would be our second selling setup. And if somehow market reaches this area, then definitely we are going to look for a good selling opportunity from here, and also from the above level as well, from this level. Okay, so we have to be vigilant if the market enters these two areas. And further, the selling setups would be if market goes below this area. If we are a risky seller, maybe we could sell straight away from here, and if we are a cautious seller, then maybe we would wait for a retest, and then maybe we could go short from retest over here, and then we will go short after the retest, something like this. Okay, so these are the possible scenarios that could happen, and a good buying opportunity might arise if the market tests this area and closes above this zone. Then if you're a risky buyer, then I would love to go long from here. Okay, so just be vigilant tomorrow that what could happen tomorrow, and I think that some of these scenarios will definitely come into play, and we just have to be sure that what kind of risks are we willing to take. Okay, now let me go to the next pair, which is gold, and what gold has to offer us. Now let's discuss, first of all, let's discuss the previous trades that we gave to you guys. Okay, so when we were last discussing gold, gold was approximately at this level and was testing one of its resistance areas, but it did not happen so, and it did not even test this area or even this area in the recently. So even this selling setup did not even come into play, and only the gold kept on going up, and only one risky sell setup came into play approximately from this point. Okay, so if we were a risky seller, then maybe we could have gone short on these two candles. Okay, and other than that, none of the setups came into play. Even this, yes, even this did not even come into play. So we have to just see that only this selling scenario came into play for us, and rather this selling setup did not come into play as we expected, as this area was not respected and this area was broken. But what you guys can clearly see that this area which I marked, these two areas, This area was respected several times. This area became support, and then later it became resistance. So this became the area of interest for us. Okay, and market tested it twice, and then the market went down beautifully. So if you were a vigilant trader, then you guys must have made some good profits from selling from this point if you were a risky seller. Now for the easiness of you guys, now let me check that how much profit we would have made if we would have shorted from this point of time. Okay, if we would have shorted gold from approximately here, the initial profit would be 3.2%, and the maximum profit that we could have had would be approximately 1 by 8.4%. Okay, which is huge and huge profit for us. So now let's discuss the possible scenarios for gold that might come into play tomorrow. Okay, first of all, let me remove the previous drawings so we can have a clear picture with us. Okay, so let me remove. Okay, so these are the last arrows. Okay, so what has happened is that this area of interest has been respected, so I am going to keep this area of interest. But now you can clearly see that this low has been taken out. So I am going to make a new support area which would be approximately over here. Okay, so we have to just be vigilant that if this area, as you can clearly see that this area is being tested already. So if this area is tested and respected, so we would continue to buy gold from this level. Okay, another area was this area of interest, but this was clearly broken, so this area of interest is not in play anymore. So rather it is in our interest, but not exactly from that point, but from here. Okay. Now what you can clearly see is that this area has been respected several times, but what I am observing is that what I am observing is that this is the exact point and the area of interest for us. Okay, so we have to wait and see that if any of this area comes into play tomorrow, what the 4 hour has in store for us. Okay, now let me just assume. Okay, so I am going to reduce my sizes, so I can see that this liquidation has not been taken out, and this area has been tested again. So now I am expecting the market to go down, and market has already gone down a lot. So what I am expecting in near future is that this area has to be tested. And if gold has to remain bullish, then this area 1733 or 31 has to be tested again. Okay, and you guys can clearly see that gold has gone down drastically. So now we expect gold to maybe be a little bit bullish tomorrow. Okay, so now let's come on to the possible. trades that could be executed for us. Okay, now let me mark all these areas as red as these are acting as resistance. Even this area is now acting as a resistance area. Okay, so now let me just make a few arrows so you guys can clearly have an idea that what I am trying to say. Okay, so first of all, if this area is tested again and market closes above this area, as you can clearly see that in the running candle, that same scenario is coming into play. If the market closes above this area, then maybe we could go long, and that would create a kind of a double bottom situation. Second scenario would be where a risky buyer we just buy straight away, and third setup would be if we have to wait for a closing above this level, then maybe we could go long upon a retest somewhere over here again, and then maybe we can go long from here, something like this. Okay. Similarly, on a selling scenario, if the market is able to break this area, then we will go short. Okay, then maybe we will go short upon this area being tested again, and then market will close below this area. Okay, and another selling scenario, the rather risky selling scenario would be if the market closes from this area, then maybe we could go short straight away. A risky buying scenario would be if the market tests this area, then maybe we could go long from here. Okay, and another area of interest from where we would love to sell would be from here. If the market enters here, then we will look for a good selling opportunity first of all. And the second area from where we would expect the market to reverse would be this area. If the market has somehow enters this zone tomorrow, then we have to look for a good selling opportunity from here as well. Okay, so now let's just wait and watch that which scenario comes into play tomorrow first. Okay, well, that's all for the dollar analysis, the euro USD analysis, the GBP USD analysis, and XAUUSD analysis, which is also the gold analysis. Now, let's hope that you guys would make some good profits out of the possible scenarios that have been given to you. If you guys have not yet liked my channel and subscribed, then please like and subscribe my channel. And to receive regular notifications, please click on the bell icon so you guys do not miss on any trading opportunity. And thank you.